It's time now to take a look at stories making headlines on Nigerian newspapers. And I begin with the Leadership newspaper. The major story here says, new Naira notes, National Assembly fumes as CBN insists on January the 31st deadline. Warns of crisis, demands 6-month extension, invites Apex Bank Bankers Committee. Someone is not telling us the truth, Femi Gbajabiamila, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, is saying. You'll find all the details on the front page of the Leadership newspaper. We'll move now to the front page of the First News newspaper. The major story here, CBN National Assembly disagree on deadline for old Naira notes. We won't extend the January 31 deadline, Apex Bank insists. Senate reps direct CBN to extend deadline by 6 months. All the details on the front page of the First News newspaper. We move now to the front page of the Blueprint. 7 days to January the 31st CBN deadline. Kekena Pep or Kada riders reject old Naira notes. The National Assembly seeks extension till July, threat over citizens' pains. Emefiele says 100 days enough to comply, raises lending rate to 17.5%. Now we'll move to the front page of the Tribune. Old Naira notes, Emefiele says deadline stays. National Assembly wants July the 31st new date. All details on the front page of the Tribune. And we move now to the front page of This Day newspaper. Emefiele forecloses extension of January the 31st deadline for return of old bank notes. And this Nigerian newspaper is still looking at the January the 31st deadline. It says shortage of the new Naira notes hits banks. Confusion as banks continue to give out old notes in Lagos, Osun, Niger, Ondo, other states. Mike.
All right, I have Daily Trust here, and he says Buhari chairs 14-man committee as fuel scarcity worsens. And DSS, Customs, EFCC, others members, President racing against time. Experts are saying when hawkers sell petrol for 500 naira a litre in Abuja and 600 naira in Ondo. That's what you see on the front page of the Daily Trust. Let's go to Nature News now. Nature News 2023, expect rains early. NIMET warns Nigerians, and FCT, Kano, Kaduna, 4 other states may have less rain. That's what Nature News is saying. Expect rains early. Nigerian News Direct says inflation rate, that's the focus, mixed reactions as CBN again raises MPR to 17.5%. CBN should strategize alternatives to reduce inflation. DG Nasima is saying this, and interest rate hike will hurt productive sector. Nigeria's economy, Bolade is saying this. All right, from there, let's go to Business Day. Business Day says, why made in Nigeria smartphone remains puzzle. That's a big story on the front page of the Business Day newspaper this morning. Why made in Nigeria smartphone remains a puzzle. Okay, from there, let's go to Guardian newspaper. Guardian newspaper says CBN insists on January 31 deadline and shuns calls for extension. And that's a focus on the old Naira notes there. CBN insists on January 31 deadline and shuns calls for extension. Now let's go to the Punch newspaper. New Naira deadline, Kano, Ondo, Anambra depositors flood banks with old notes. Kano, Ondo, Anambra depositors flood banks with old notes. CBN shuns National Assembly, insists on January 31 cash swap deadline. And EFCC, ICPC won't arrest huge depositors, Emefiele assured bank customers. And central bank officials, POS agents set up rural cash exchange point. Okay, all that is going on across the country. That's what you see on the front page of the Punch newspaper. The Nation is the last one we're seeing now. Senators, reps draw battle line with CBN over Naira notes. Senators, reps draw battle line with CBN over Naira notes. That's what you see on the front page of the Nation newspaper. Lawmakers seek a 6-month extension. A Tuesday deadline sacrosanct. Apex Bank insists. So we might be seeing some drama going forward, right, Veronica?
Right, gentlemen, the CBN is insisting that January the 31st is still the deadline for the old Naira notes to be in circulation. And it has said that for the unbanked areas, it has come up with a program where they can have the swap. But then this is not sitting well with the National Assembly, who is insisting that, this could cause a crisis amongst some persons. In fact, one of the, I think, a member of the House of, a member of the National Assembly actually spoke about his area that there are no banks at the time. Right now, for 10 years, there has been no banks in function, and that because of Boko Haram activities and how this is affecting business people in his area, I think in Katsina. And so the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, is saying that they must look into the truth about this matter of the new Naira notes not being in circulation, because you still go to the banks and what you get from the ATM over the counter is still the old notes, and that something has to be done. So he's saying they're going to have a meeting with members of the central bank and the CBN and the bank, some members of the bank heads. He's going to have meetings with them to address... Committee. Yes, Bankers Committee, to look into the truth about these old notes. Because you go to parties, you see these people who sell money around parties if you want to spray people. They have the new notes. Meanwhile, you get into the banking hall, you don't get the notes. And then you go, Keke Napep, business people are refusing to collect the old notes as it stands. It seems we are in a dilemma, Sam.
Well, maybe you went to a party and said, I've not been to a party since
I
came back from vacation.
I have seen.
But I've not seen. But I went to a party sometime last week, and I was sitting next to a fellow, and we're discussing Emefiele and his program of bringing in new notes. And I said, well, I've not seen this new notes. And the person put his hand in his pocket and thrusted out 1,000 naira for me to look at. I was talking about how the thing was smudging, anything it came in contact with. And the thing was a new note, but it was a dirty new note, and so on and so forth. And that is my only story. I'm only encounter in almost a week and a half since I came to Nigeria from vacation with the new currency. And this is in spite of the fact that I've been to the bank twice since I came, and I never collected nor saw the new Naira notes. And when I wanted to collect money, they gave me the old Naira note. So how am I supposed to reconcile the CBN's order with the reality I'm living with? If it is for only party people, then there's already a corruption act going on within the banking system, within the financial sector, that has occluded people who want to get the new notes, any opportunity to get any satisfaction. So what we see here is that the CBN governor and his crew are living in one reality, and the Naira is living in another reality. Now the question is, how do we reconcile our CBN chief with the reality of the financial world over which he is presiding? That the man is out of touch, not only with human beings, but with the inanimate object called the Naira, that he has imposed on animate beings who are supposed to use the inanimate object. Now the question is, who is animate here and who is inanimate? Is there a certain inanimacy within the central bank hierarchy that has put it out of touch with the reality of animacy, which is animation of human beings at all? Okay. So what we are seeing here is a series of it's a chain in which nothing touches each other, and all of them believe that they are together in one whole group.
Mike, do you still have anything to say?
I told you, we will pack our mattresses, go to his library, and we live there. No, the reality is that if you look at it really critically, the CBN or government has to take very drastic and hard measure and decisions for that matter. However, there need to be consideration of some of the realities on ground. Now, the average Nigerian is the one who is going to suffer most. The woman, my grandmother in the village, and all of those who sell the petty traders and so on.
Absolutely.
Now, I know that this policy is driving Nigerians towards the issue of the cashless policy. But the level of illiteracy or people who don't understand how these things work, or even take it further to the issue of the availability of internet and all of that service or smartphones, people who don't know how to use all of those. Okay, someone will say you don't even need smartphone. You can use the USSD as the case may be. A lot of persons don't know how to use those things. Right. Of course, this might force them into going to learn how to do it. However, the time frame might be short for people, for my grandmother to begin to learn. In fact, my grandmother doesn't have a phone, but it's going to be a short period of time for her to learn. Go and get a phone now, know how to use a phone before you know how to use the USSD. So these are challenges here and there. The National Assembly on one hand is saying, CBN, you have to, extend this deadline. CBN is saying, I will not extend the deadline. Of course, both of them are acting within their powers given to them. But at the end of the day, when there is the real clash between National Assembly and the CBN, who will come out unscathed? The National Assembly, of course, has the ultimate right. If they decide to change the policies and the powers and the laws that establish the CBN, because of that, they can do it within the period of time. But the issue there is, we shouldn't even go there. If there were adequate consultation from the start,
we wouldn't be having this
we wouldn't be having this issue.
Yeah.
The moment there is consultation, because remember we said that when there is, the financial blockchain, there's financial chain or value chain, as the case may be. The banks are there, the National Assembly is there, the ministries are there, the bureau de change are there. All of these are stakeholders within the financial chain. If everybody was on board when this thing was being discussed to say, okay, let us give ourselves a date, let us work towards this, this is what you're going to do, this is what you're going to do. If we had that kind of conversation, we won't be having this issue right now. So the issue of consultation, there's nothing that can beat that. Communicate well. And moreover, the issue of enlightenment. You are not hearing enlightenment and jingles and all of that enough. If they do it one or two on one or two radio stations or TV stations, that's all. Nigerians are not getting the information. Nigerians are not getting the enlightenment. The publicity is not out there adequately for people to know, okay, this is what is going on. So that has to change, and that's why there's this challenge.
What we have is the financial equivalent of what you call the Mexican standoff. In the movie sometimes you see somebody hold gun, another person hold gun. Maybe it's two people. Who shoots first? Who is in control of the situation? Or there are three people. Who shoots first? Nobody.
All right. We need to wrap up this segment now, but we hope they have that meeting with the CBN, talking about the National Assembly and the CBN, and perhaps looking to the extension of this matter for maybe for 3 months or 6 months, as been said by the National Assembly. But coming...